Hello everyone, this is Farhan Noor. Today we'll learn about cell organelles. If you remember in our previous session on cells, we have seen some of the basic components of cells in an animal cells and in plant cells. Like say, cell membrane, cell wall and cytoplasm. And also we know the just like how human need organs to perform various functions. Cells require organelles to perform these specific functions. So we can say that cell organelles are similar to organs in a human system. In a last session we have also discussed that plants and animals are different based on their structure and functions. So to perform these functions, their cell organelles will also be different. Some of the cell organelles may be present in a plant cells but absent in a animal cells, or say vice versa. But majorly they have similar cell organelles which functions together to keep the cell alive. And now in this session, we will study the cell organelle within the cell in detail, and simultaneously we would also learn difference in an animal cells and plant cells with respect to their contents. So moving on, what is a cell organelle? As you can see here, cell organelle are individual parts within a cell that works together to keep the cell alive. Scientifically, a cell organelle is defined as a specialized subunit within a cell with a definite shape and structure and which has an individual membrane or covering. Now we will be looking organelles one by one in details. So moving on with the first one, that is the nucleus. So to start with, do you see this rounded shape structure present in the center of the cell? Since it is present in the center, this organelle is called as the nucleus, which means core of the cell. The nucleus is like a brain. So we all know human brain control the functioning in the body. In a similar way, the nucleus is control the functioning in the cell. So it won't be wrong to regard the nucleus as the brain of the cell. So how and what exactly does it control? It controls or determines a physical appearance because of some material which is present within the nucleus. This material called as DNA. So now the question arises, what is DNA? We have heard a lot about a DNA. It stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is an organic compound that has a unique molecular structure. DNA is a macromolecule consisting of two strands that twist around a common axis in a shape called a double helix. The double helix looks like a twisted ladder. The rungs of the ladder are composed of pair of nitrogen bases, and the sides of the ladder made up of alternating sugar molecule and phosphate groups. DNA is made up of molecule called nucleotides. Each nucleotide contains a phosphate group, a sugar group and a nitrogen base. The four types of nitrogen bases are adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. The bases on one strand pairs with the bases on another strand. That is, adenine pairs with the thymine, guanine pairs with the cytosine. DNA molecules are long, so long in fact that they can't fit into cells without the right packaging. In the nucleus of each cell, the DNA molecule is packaged into thread-like structure called chromosomes. Each chromosome contains a single DNA molecule, or you can say each chromosome is made up of DNA tightly coiled many times around protein called histones that supports its structure. DNA and histone proteins are packaged into structure called chromosomes. Now the question arises, how DNA is passed from generation to generation? Yes, our DNA is passed on to us by our parents. And this is the reason why we look similar to our parents. After all, the children inherit half of their DNA from each parent, 50% from mom through an egg and 50% from dad through sperm. Do you think how many chromosomes do humans have? You got all your genes from your parents for each pair of their chromosomes. You get one chromosome from your mom and one chromosome from your dad. So we can say that the sperm contain 23 chromosomes and egg contain 23 chromosomes, which combine to create a zygote with 46 chromosomes. When the egg and sperm cells come together, they create the full set of 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosomes. Now one more question is also arises. Does our DNA make us all unique or all the same? So as we all know that the DNA is the hereditary material in humans and almost all other organisms, which means DNA is passed down to the next generation in big chunks called chromosomes. Every generation, each parent passes half their chromosomes to their child. Nearly every cell in a person's body has the same DNA. Human DNA consists of about 3 million bases, and more than 99% of those bases are the same in all people. But we won't say it is 100% identical to them, as there is some amount of DNA which is different. And because of this difference, there won't be any individual in this planet with the same identical DNA as yours. This uniqueness makes studying the structure and functions of DNA so important. So we can say that human DNA is 99.9% identical from persons to person. And also there are multiple ways our bodies ensure that we have a unique set of DNA that differs from our parents. Now coming to the next, what is genetic variations? Now first we will discuss about the genetics. What is genetics? Genetics is the study of how different qualities called traits are passed down from parents to child. And the genetic variations refers to diversity in gene frequencies. Genetic variations can refer to differences between individuals or to differences between populations. And the genetic variations is what make us all unique, whether in terms of hair color, skin color or even the shape of our faces. So all these contents are fit in a nucleus by a double covering or membrane around the nucleus. Since it is present around the nucleus, which we called as nuclear membrane. A nuclear membrane is a double membrane that encloses the cell nucleus. So it can be inner nuclear membrane and outer nuclear membrane. And the nuclear membrane also separates the contents of the nucleus from the rest of the cell. Or we can say that the nuclear membrane serves to separate the chromosomes from the rest of the cell. The nuclear membrane also includes an array of small holes or pores that permit the passage of certain materials, such as the nucleic acids and proteins between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So, a quick fact about the nuclear membrane. Some organisms like bacteria lack this nuclear membrane, and the contents of this nucleus are scattered and not bound together. Thus, the nucleus don't have a definite shape. Such a type of undefined nucleus structure is called a nucleoid. So here we are talking about nucleus. So moving on, we have said that the nucleus is the control center of the cell. But both the nucleus and the cell require protein and fats for its functioning. So for this, the organelle which produces the required protein and fats, and it is present close to the nucleus. It is so closed that it emerges from the outer membrane of the nucleus and extends to form a large network of sheets and tubes which is present within the plasma or the fluid of the cell. Because its location and structure, this organelle gets its name as an endoplasmic reticulum. Now coming to the structure of the endoplasmic reticulum. It is an irregular network of double membrane tube-like structure distributed over the entire cytoplasm in a cell. It is continuous with the cell or plasma membrane on the outside and nuclear membrane of the inside. At its outer end, endoplasmic reticulum connects itself with the cell membrane, and the inner end, it is connected with the nuclear membrane. The endoplasmic reticulum is like a veins. The endoplasmic reticulum forms passageways through the cell. Veins are passageways for blood to flow through the body. So moving on, if you observe this large network under a microscope, you will see that part of it has particles of grains attached to it. But what did these particles actually do? Just how we get a protein from a food we eat. Cell gets their protein because of these particles which are called as ribosomes. Ribosomes are also known as the protein factory of the cell, as they synthesize the proteins by gathering and assembling amino acids into protein chains. And because of this, it appears rough. So this part here with ribosomes is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. But what about the part where we do not see any particles or grains? This part that appears smooth because of the lack of ribosomes particles is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. A smooth endoplasmic reticulum with the production and metabolism of fats and steroid hormones. A smooth endoplasmic reticulum is not involved in protein synthesis. It is smooth because it is not studded with ribosomes and is associated with smooth slippery fats. It produces fat molecules required by the cell to build up its covering, or as we know, cell membrane. Isn't it fascinating? But apart from this, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum only in the liver cells has an important additional function. And the liver cells are packaged with huge amounts of smooth endoplasmic reticulum because the liver is the primary site for detoxifying harmful molecules. We humans, knowingly or unknowingly, may tend to consume many toxic or say dangerous materials like say drugs, alcohols, pesticides and insecticides, which can get it into our system by the food we take. So, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum in the liver cells helps to detoxify or remove these harmful substances from our body, and that is why the liver is known as the purifier of the body. And this brings us to the end of the endoplasmic reticulum. So, in this way, we seen two organelles of the cell, that is the nucleus and the endoplasmic reticulum. So let's have the recap of the terms we just studied in this session. And also do catch up in the next session where we will discussing the other cell organelles. But till then, try this small exercise. Let's match column A and column B. I hope you will try this. Keep thinking about it. Until the next session, follow your curiosity. So that's all about nucleus and endoplasmic reticulum. I hope you understand all about it. So if you like this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and please subscribe our channel to get more videos like that. Thank you. Bye bye.